beautiful souls. Welcome to the Raw and Wild Hearts podcast. I am your host and guide, Lori Reising, Star Channel, Galactic, and Embodiment Guide. And welcome to today's episode called Manifestation is Hard. Yes, let's name it. Let's integrate it. Let's alchemize it. And let's expand from it. Yeah. That's where we're going. Y'all, it's been a super duper hot minute yet again for the podcast to drop. Life has ramped up for everyone. The energies are faster. The planet's moving faster. We're moving faster. The collective is maybe losing their shit just a little bit because Pluto is doing its job. Pluto's doing its job in a really quick way because Pluto is not a fast-moving planet, but it's at the anaretic degree of Capricorn, which is our systems and our structures, basically the constructs that the collective has continued to perpetuate for way too long. That's all going bye-bye. And as it goes bye-bye, we actually have to say goodbye to a lot of energies that we thought were truths that had snuck in as our mindset conditioning, as our programming, as what we thought was our reality. And what we now know in very deep ways is that our reality is not our thoughts. Those are the stories that have been constructed from our past experiences. Our reality is the creator energy that we have and that we're always putting out into the world. And when we go backwards, trying to make things happen from our thoughts, which is actually the result of what we've been building in the energy, we just get it wrong. We end up efforting and it does become hard. That's why I am saying, let's name it. Manifestation is hard based on what we have absorbed as truth in this space, in this humanity, in the reality, right? In the physical reality that is around us. Because whatever we believe dominantly is going to be running at a high vibration around us. And then Pluto's going back and forth into the 0 degree point of Aquarius, which is the very beginning, the limitless potential, the unknown, the abyss, the 0 point activation. And that's all about our collective, humanity, higher technology, using technology for good instead of being hooked into technology from a place of lack. And that is absolutely coming to the forefront because those are two of the biggest degrees of any sign. And those are exactly Pluto's gig. It's all about the death for the rebirth. And the death part is the part that can be very uncomfortable. It's the part where we can come up with a whole lot of resistance and we keep digging our heels in to stay in what we've known, even though it's creating hella discomfort in our world. We've just been sold this narrative of control, and that's kept us so limited. Honestly, when we effort to control our lives, it comes from a place of tension because that's not who we are at our core. Who we are at our core is energy. And energy is boundless, limitless, spiral. It's dynamic, adaptable, evolutionary. Are you feeling me here? How the very thing that is our biggest catalyst to growth and expansion is the thing that we've been taught to fear at a foundational core root level. So this is where I come back to naming manifestation as hard. We can do hard things. Anything that we begin that is unknown can be labeled as hard until we practice it enough, until we vibrate in its frequency enough that we become masters of it. We become masterful. Think back to when you started riding a bike. Think back to when you started walking. It's in your cells. You have all of the memories, all of the imprints. You have all of the knowledge within. Maybe not at a conscious level, but definitely at a subconscious level. So it is in the discomfort that we find the growth. It's required, or we keep doubling down into more discomfort, more resistance, more tension. And that's when we find ourselves at a crisis point or rock bottom. And right now out in the collective, y'all, it feels like a huge opportunity at a crisis point activation. So I want you to just kind of sit with this right now, because there's been a lot of feeling, a lot of anger. There's old loops and patterns showing themselves in such a way that you cannot deny it, even if your brain doesn't want to accept it. On my YouTube channel, maybe you're there right now listening to this. If you are, hello. And if you're not, definitely come over and subscribe, because I am offering more videos there, more energy updates, and so much acknowledgement and support where you can know that you're not alone out in this, and you can find that confirmation of the revelations that are coming up in your life for transformation or transmutation. That's one of the first parts of the manifestation practice and unfolding. It's the invitation and opportunity into growth. I just had a reading this morning, and she came to this beautiful enlightenment and epiphany. And I was like, that's it right there. We got to it. We got to the root, because she was like, you're right. I keep coming back to this with the same response, and I'm wanting it to be different somehow, yet I'm not coming back in a different way, or I'm not choosing a new response in this same pattern, loop, or even rut. So I feel like that was a message for the collective as well, as we do this deep, deep, deep Pluto work. The deep, deep, deep Pluto work is happening for a deep, 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 inspiring and beautiful reason. It's the unrolling of the crystalline light carpet into the North Node in Aries. The nodal axis is shifting real quick here on July 18th, right? From Scorpio in the South Node, Taurus in the North Node, into Libra in the South Node, and Aries in the North Node. And we really needed to get that North Node in Taurus conjunct Jupiter right now. We needed to get that solidification in solitude, stillness, quiet, in the present moment activation where we receive the messages. And I know some of you may still be resisting that a little bit. It's easy when the energies are so ramped up around us and people are so ramped up around us to just kind of like fall in to that chaos, which is why it's even more important to have the non-negotiables, to have the daily practice, and to hold it in a space where it's just as high stakes as showing up to parent every day, as waking up every morning, as showing up for your job or business or work. Y'all, I want you to just settle in, arrive to this moment, clear out the mind, really feel what I'm about to share with you. Anything you practice gets easier. And here's the caveat. Just like Jupiter, it doesn't matter if you're practicing something expanding, enlightening, accelerating, aligning, or if you're practicing something disempowering, disassociating, unhealthy. Whatever you practice, whatever your stream of consciousness every day is, whatever energy you are absorbing, language, words, and thought form, you will make bigger, and hear me now, you will become masterful at it. So if you're practicing the same response in the same loop, in the same rut, in the same neural pattern, you have probably mastered it by now. And this is where the pain point, the discomfort comes in for the growth, the risk, the leap out of what feels good because it's comfortable, because you know it. And this is where naming it is so important. Just like EFT tapping, which I absolutely love, and that is why it's a part of every container that I offer. More on that in a little bit. But just like that, it's naming, accepting, and honoring what we're feeling, where we are, and how we got there, with zero avoidance, zero distraction, zero numbing out from it. Then we can take those steps into huge leaps and transformations when we can hold ourselves in a place of love, forgiveness and compassion, which leads me to the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. If you are unable to come up with any other practice and you feel like you are not worthy or that you beat yourself up daily with self-judgment and the inner critic, do some mirror work. Repeat that prayer over and over and over and over. Practice it. Let's come back to practicing. Anything will create mastery. That's how magical we are. That's how powerful we are. And y'all, we have been practicing belief in so many things that have misled us that is another reason why I'm naming the fact that the beginning of manifestation is hard, because we are undoing and unraveling generations of core wounds, of limitations, of scarcity, of programs, mindsets, belief systems that weren't even ours, that have been handed down to us through our cells, through epigenetics, through imprinting, and also we're here for it. How incredible to be here now alive with everything that is opening up in the field, in our consciousness, within ourselves. We know that we're here as the disruptors. We know that we're here to do the deep healing work, to raise this collective consciousness, this energy grid into higher frequency states, and to emanate love from a benevolent and abundant universe. We can change this in quantum ways when we show up for the discomfort, when we show up for the beginning that can feel so hard, where growth happens. Okay, the other reasons manifestation can be hard is when we're manifesting without support, when we feel like we're in our own solo echo chamber and no one else is experiencing the intensity, surprises, shocks, hurts that we have in our lives. And of course, this can lead to victimhood mentality and energy. But y'all, let's get out of the victimhood of it, because this is how we've been led in a consumerism culture. When you begin to get that higher vantage point and you start to see how we've been played by greed, power over, and emotional manipulation, you actually activate much deeper places of empowerment within yourself when you can name what has misled you, your family, your lineage, your communities, your friends. And from there, you can start to fully understand and believe in yourselves that we are here to make the deepest places of change. We're not waiting for somebody else to do it for us. And that's where we've been hitting our heads against the wall for so long. Your deepest asset and currency is not money, dollars. It's your attention, your belief, and your energy. And until we get super real about that, it can go a lot slower than it has to. We can make deep change when we come together and drain the energy from anything. That's it right there. But when we wait for something to change or something to happen for us or to us, it's negating our majesty, our magic, and our limitless potential. Manifestation can also be hard without commitment, because no matter what, you are practicing something 24/7, and whether it's conscious or subconscious, that's becoming your reality. When you truly grasp that, you will start being so much more committed. And when you get more committed with a practice that takes you into alignment, which is where manifestation really lies, the power of it, the magic of it, the beauty of it, you're going to feel the results. And the more you feel the results, the more you get the momentum to keep going, keep growing, keep doing the work, because it becomes more permanent in your reality. And that feels so good. It feels so good to have all of your inner resources coming from yourself and realizing that the life that you're living is created from within. Manifestation can also be hard without trust. Trust is what fuels us moving into the unknown. The unknown is where limitless potential and possibilities lie. It's where evolution lives. When we live in the past, that's where resistance amplifies. And this can come back to our overuse of control, because we can feel like we have to control a situation in order to experience a certain outcome. But that certain outcome is what we're holding on to from tension and expectation. Manifestation is the work of our deepest desires and dreams that arrives without the linear process that's been hammered into us from the time we were little tiny humans coming into this world, which has caused us to move into a place of imbalance, misalignment, and efforting. That's the work of our mind that has negated this entire navigation system that we have all come into this life force with. Animals, humans, the earth, the cosmos. It's actually the thing that's there to help guide us into our life unfolding. And guess what it's fueled by? Dun, dun, dun. Trust. Man, are we a culture of non-trusting people? For good reason. I'm not going to lie. Like, we have so much violence and pain and anger out in this culture because we have been ripped away from the guidance system. We've been forced into the construct of this society and living a life that feels like it's happening to us. And the reason it feels like it's happening to us is because we've been sold this BS of control. Control is an illusion. Flow, adaptability, and growth are the real amplifiers of alignment and clarity, which takes us to the next thing, because that's how we are meant to receive the messages. That is what manifestation work is about. And we don't even have to effort, because when we receive them, they become effortless because we have confidence in moving forward with them. And trust is the gas that puts the pedal to the metal right there. So I'm going to end with a little story here about another reading that I gave this week. And it just was so clear how easily we can create so much more time and suffering in our experience based on forcing something that's not even in our field. You know, there's something that I actually heard recently and I loved it so much. So pain, just like shadow, is a part of the human gig, right? We are going to experience pain, but we're also made to move through it. And that's from that place of growth, expansion, adaptability, from that place of being available to heal and evolve. And that's really going to come from unity consciousness. When you can get out of this I'm right, you're wrong, or us versus them, you can find all of the golden nuggets in every experience and interaction, the reflective work, the mirror work that's always present for you. Because when we can own that, yes, there is pain in experience, there are deep wells of emotion and feeling that become our superpowers when we really let ourselves drop into the vulnerability and the rawness of them and the reality of them, instead of the stories and narratives that have been building and brought us to this place of resistance where we keep coming back in that same loop or pattern. So here's the kicker of it, is the pain becomes suffering when we attach a story to it. That's what starts digging that rut. And the more we dig that rut, the more we strengthen the story within our mind or our thoughts, the more it becomes our reality. So I just really appreciated that. Instead of avoiding the pain, letting yourself fully feel it, fully drop into the message and the opportunity of it without attaching a story, without making somebody else the bad guy, or without becoming the victim, or whatever the story is. Okay, so that was a side note, but I want to get back to what went down in one of my readings this week. So I'm just going to sum it up quickly by sharing with you the message that was coming through this person's body consciousness that they were bypassing or ignoring and waiting for something that they were working on controlling to come into the picture before they did the thing that the body consciousness was asking them to do. And it just got so clear that they were creating more suffering for themselves, and it was getting bigger and bigger, like amplified, louder in their world, because they kept getting the exact innate guidance of where to go to feel that peace, that calm, that alignment within their soul that will bring the other thing that they were trying to control and trying to bring into their world first through physical action, through like an outcome based on like a linear expectation, or their mind feeling like that would make it better if they had this piece in place in order to honor the body consciousness. So I hope you followed me there, because that was like the pinnacle of we got to this point where it's like, why are you waiting? You're waiting based on what your mind has conjured up and believed would make it better. Yet every time you go and create that environment for yourself that your body consciousness is asking you to move into, you feel balanced and aligned. You feel alive. And then you come back into this environment that's not offering that energy or frequency. And then you find yourself back in this loop or this rut and this discomfort. So my hope is, if you're listening out there, is that you have taken the action, you've taken the risk, you've moved into or leaned into the discomfort to create a new response and to do the thing that you haven't yet had the physical confirmation of, to trust the innate guidance that keeps coming back and hammering it in by showing you through your body and your feelings that that's where find so much peace right here, right now. Letting go of the time construct, letting go of the what ifs and what to do's, and just follow the guidance, follow the inspiration, follow the feeling. Okay, so there's that little story. Here we are. And what I want to share with you now about manifestation is that it is meant to be super easeful, and it can become super fun, really joyful, and playful. That's how we were meant to actually live in these lives and these bodies. Even as adults, y'all, we are meant to have our inner child wild. We're meant to be experiencing sensory greatness, as well as messages that help us make big moves, bold moves, pivots, and adaptations that elevate this experience in ways that we've never even dreamed possible. We're not meant to stay in one energy through this whole experience. We're meant to go into all kinds of different phases and evolutions in this unfolding. That's when we get to the ancient encoded wisdom, the creator energy that pulsates through our cells. When we transform the density into more light, and we have the ease of being in the present moment and hearing exactly where to go and how to do it, and ways to make quantum leaps in our world. And y'all, I am here to support you in getting there quicker. So many of my containers are all about this, right? This is why I teach psychic strength, intuitive guidance, embodiment, cellular recoding, DNA upgrading, and galactic citizenship. And I actually want to share with you right now that I am offering a free manifestation mastermind called Manifest Like a Champ, because that's absolutely where we're going and what's available through the practice and the unfolding. Yes, it's completely free. Yes, it's reality-based. Yes, it's energetically charged and light-driven, and it's absolutely divinely timed. Right with the North Node moving into Aries, after we've been doing very deep Chiron and Aries wound work, which is all about the physical body as the conduit. So I'm coming on after I've seen so many mentors and colleagues really sharing manifestation work, masterclasses, masterminds. I feel like they've been missing the practicality and the embodiment piece, especially while they do the masterclass, because we have to get out of this sitting and learning and only moving it through the mind loop. We have to actually start practicing the embodiment in real time so that you get used to it and you bring it into the rest of your unfolding world. Because you can sit in a class all day long. You can sit and learn all day long. That's part of why we've gotten so heavily reliant on the mind. That's part of why we have become so resistant from our need to control. And this is absolutely my soul's mission. So you don't want to miss this masterclass. I don't know if you heard me before, but I'll say it again. It's free and it's super fun to come and hang out with me. You know, part of my zone of genius is stoking your passion and reminding you of the majesty that you absolutely came into this body with, because I've known about it since I arrived. And I couldn't be more delighted that we are at the level of consciousness transformation and consciousness acceleration that we're at, because this is my superpower. This is why I stayed, even when I tried to leave several times as a younger human here in a world that didn't make sense to me. I'm here because it's now coming together in our physical reality. And I want to keep bringing this more and more into the collective so that we can create the ripple effect, so that you get to just tap in and you don't have to effort so hard at it. You don't have to make it such an intentional practice when it's in the dominant energy and dominant narrative of this collective. Are you feeling me? Are you excited? It's going to be July 11th. Check out the link below in the show notes. Please send this to a friend. The more, the merrier. And then you get to practice together afterwards. We get to keep elevating the light grid, the energy grid, and depositing new frequencies into it together. And when we come together, y'all, in these spaces, online, Age of Aquarius, using higher technology, we are blowing circuits in the best of ways. So I am stoked to see y'all there. I can't wait. I am confident that you're going to walk away with some epiphanies and probably walk away feeling lighter, excited, hopeful, and having a tangible practice to work with. You're also maybe going to be levitating a little. So listen, if you are new to this podcast, I'm so excited that you found us here today, now in this moment. And please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Leave me a star rating and review if you felt support here. If you're on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Like I said, I'm dropping more videos. If you're not on YouTube, why not get over there? When I hit 1K subscribers, I'm giving away a free 90-minute astrology and Akashic Records reading. I talked about 2 of them here and how things have really changed for those 2 souls that tapped into the energy potentials. And y'all, I want to keep offering all of this free content to you. But I'm going to be honest, I have got to, for my own business and my own abundance and success, I've got to start looking at where to place my energy in order to feel supported in my life as well. So if you have a few minutes to do any of those things for free, I would super appreciate it. And so would other people that are benefiting from these transmissions that I'm sharing. I'm in my own rebirth. I actually just did a huge, big, bold move that I know has been coming for a couple of years. And I had to move through a 3-month process that you're going to hear about in some of the manifestation masterclass and mastermind. So definitely come hang out, get some more of that personalized rawness and vulnerability that I am very well known for, and elevate your life. Elevate it. Let's do it together. The replay is available for 48 hours. So head to the link below, come to the mastermind, trust that we are moving to really, really big places together when we continue to come together as a collective, as a community, and on this personal soul growth journey. Thank you. Thank you for continuing to show up. Thank you for being a part of the new earth rebirth and revolution. If you'd like to know more about me and my programs and offerings and even my personal readings, head to my hub at therawandwildhearts.com. Links are below in the show notes. And let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for support, and I'm happy to have a drop-in with you to see where you might be best guided for your highest unfolding in what I am throwing down. Okay, y'all. Until next time, don't forget to keep looking up. And with that, let's normalize the struggles, celebrate the quirks, and lean into the light. From myself and Beezus the Brave, happy Wild Heart Revolution, friends.